welcome back to my channel. This week we have a very exciting project that we're going to be working on. I'm so excited to get started on this and to be able to share it with you guys. It's something that I have been thinking about and kind of coming up with ideas with for a little while now. We are going to be making over our kitchen. We've done little things here and there with the kitchen, like our fridge gallery wall, DIY kitchen island, and a few other things like that, but we haven't done a full big makeover in the space. I want to make some big changes to the space. I want to change the look of it and change some of the more foundational elements in our kitchen. The kitchen is a little bit outdated. It has a yellowy wood tone going on, and so I really want to kind of update it and have it fit my style a little bit more. We are going to get into that this week. I do expect this to be probably more than one video. I think that I'll do this in parts. It is a lot of kitchen space and a lot of work, so keep an eye out for all the parts of this renovation so you can see it start to finish, get to see the final result. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can see all of my videos. I put out new videos every Sunday, and we are not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into this makeover. Okay, so here are our 4 swatches. I do want to go with tan color in this space. I think it's going to work best with our countertop color and our wall color and some of the other wood tones that we already have in here. I may change the countertops down the road and have them be a different color, but for now we're going to stick with them. So they are like a blue-gray. I really want to avoid pulling those cool tones from the countertops to kind of make the space a little bit more neutral, because I don't love the cool tones in the countertop. I know they probably look really similar on camera, and they honestly kind of do in real life too. The thing that I see when I look at these colors is a difference in the undertones. While the 3 tans are pretty much the same color, they do have different undertones, and I think that's going to make a big difference in the space when we have all of the cabinets painted, because we do have a lot of cabinets in this space. It would feel pretty overwhelming if we pick the wrong undertone. It could really make that color come out. For me, straight away the white was out. That was not a color I was looking for, and it was kind of strange because on the swatch card it did not look white at all. It looked like a really pale tan, but for some reason in our light and in our kitchen it looks very white. That's not for me in this space. I'm not really someone who likes bright white. I think it's just a little bit too like clinical feeling for me. It looks beautiful in a lot of other people's spaces, but just not really with my decor. The white is out for me. The other 3 colors I have been kind of sitting with for the last few days, and I've had a couple friends come over and give me their opinions, and we all seem to agree on which color we would go with. Definitely leave me a comment and let me know which color you would go with, because I'm interested to see if you agree with me too before knowing what I'm going to say. For the undertones, this one right here, I'm seeing a lot of pinky cool tones, and you can really kind of see that in the parts that aren't painted as thick, where it's a little bit thinner. You can really see that color pick up. This one is much more neutral of a tan. It doesn't really have an undertone coming out. It's very like true tan. And then this one I see like a bluish green undertone, but I'm thinking I'm going to go with this color. I think the true tan is going to do the best in this space with our current countertops, and if I change the countertops, I think it's just going to keep the color palette how I want it, and it's not going to pick up on cool tones coming from other things like our walls, which are blue-gray. We are going to go head to the store and pick up the paint so that we can start painting. Alright, so I went ahead and picked up our paint. I got 2 gallons in this Valspar cabinet and furniture paint in the color Hazy Earth. So that is this one right here, this tan color. I have used this paint before with helping a friend redo her kitchen, and the really cool thing about it is that you don't have to sand, you don't have to prime, you don't have to seal. You just literally paint your cabinets, let it dry, and they are good to go. And it is holding up really really well in her kitchen, so I'm hopeful that it will go just as smoothly in our kitchen. So now we have to do the not so fun part of prepping the kitchen. We need to take all the cabinet doors off, take the drawers out, and remove any decorative things that are going to be in the way of painting shelving. And then I'll wipe all the cabinet doors and cabinets down so they're nice and clean, and then we can start painting. This is probably going to take me a while. It's going to seem very quick for you. That's the good news. And we're all just going to agree to ignore any mess that may be happening inside these cabinets, and that can be a future me problem to clean all that up. I have been kind of going through and clearing out things that we don't use, don't need, and organizing, but I've not made it through all the cabinets at all. I've done maybe like half of them, get through the painting, and then we can deal with organizing later on. Okay, so we have all of the cabinets back up. The only ones that we don't have right now are these glass ones, and then the two that I have over here that go above the range hood. Those two I'm not going to go back up because I am going to try to make the DIY range hood. If that's successful, then we won't need the doors. We'll have the range hood instead. If it's not, then we'll have the doors ready to go. And then these we are going to put back up, but I want to do a little like mini DIY, just something to make them a little bit cuter and kind of step up the kitchen in a really easy way. These glass doors go in front of where we keep like our wine glasses, champagne flutes, teapots, more pretty items, but we have a lot in that cabinet. So I do want to be able to see those things, but I want to mask it a little bit so it doesn't look quite as cluttered, and we'll just have like the silhouette of those items showing through without seeing every single item that's behind these doors. What I want to do is use this faux fluted glass that's like a peel and stick sort of situation, and this is a really easy way to do a fluted glass look that is renter friendly, budget friendly, and very simple and quick to apply. I've used it in a couple other projects in our house, so I think it'll be perfect for these doors because it's not only going to hide some of the stuff behind the doors, but it's also just going to add to the overall look of the kitchen and make it feel like a lot more high-end and just in line with the vintage vibe that I'm going for. This is a super simple process. It comes with little directions. Okay, so we're gonna start by measuring out and cutting our panel to the size of our door, to the size of the glass in our door. So this is what it looks like, obviously without this grid pattern behind it, because we're going to peel that off. It looks really, really good once you put it onto whatever it's going on. It gives it like a genuine glass feel. I'm going to run it vertically because that I think will just make it feel more like true fluted glass, because usually when I see fluted glass it runs vertically rather than horizontally. So I think that will give it a more authentic look. So to do that, we are just going to lay this down on our glass. And you do want to cut a little bit extra from what you actually need so that you have some room if it kind of shrinks in when you're applying it. Okay, so while our fluted glass is drying, I want to go ahead and work with the shelving area over here. My plan for this space is to make it more decorative and have some of our like pretty items on display, things like pictures, vintage and antique rolling pins, pretty plates that we have that we don't use every day, that sort of thing. I want to take some peel and stick wallpaper and put it on the back of each of these shelves to just kind of, add a little bit more interest, give some more detail, just make the space a little bit more interesting. I also do not love that we have the holes over here for the different shelving heights. So I'm thinking about plugging those up with like some paintable caulk, just kind of smoothing it out and then painting over that so you don't see those, because I feel like it really takes away from the space feeling custom and makes it look more like something that you bought and installed, if that makes sense. That's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm also going to be adding some details to this area. I want to create a plate rack for over here, like the little slotted ones, and then we're going to be doing some DIY gallery rails. The ideal way to wallpaper this space would be to take out the shelves and do it as one big long strip. Unfortunately for me, these shelves are in there good. So I checked before I painted this space because I didn't want to paint them into place, but however they were installed, they are like stuck in that spot. I don't know if maybe they're a little bit too big for the space or if they were glued into place. Who knows? They do a lot of funny things in this house when they built it, so it could be any of the above. To remove them, I'd probably have to hammer them out, which could damage the wood, and I do like the shelf heights, so I don't really want to do that. So we're gonna do it the hard way, and we're gonna wallpaper each individual section. Here's what our wallpaper looks like. I think it's super, super pretty. So it is shorter in width than the shelf area itself, so we're gonna have to do 2 panels on each of these, which will be fine. It makes it a little bit more complicated with lining things up, but I don't think it'll be that bad. And this is like a really pretty cream and black, so I thought it would play nicely with the tan that we have going on the cabinets. I'm going to cut the first piece down to size so we can install it and then find its matching counterpart. Alright, the wallpaper is all done. I think it looks so good. I really love how this turned out. And I feel like it fits perfectly with our space and with the vibe of the house. I really lean towards like a vintage French country feel as the inspiration for my decorating and for my home. And I do feel like this wallpaper, especially in our space, gives that country sort of feel and also the vintage feel, which aligns really well with the decor that I'm aiming for. And I think because it has that vintage element to it with the creams and the pattern, it helps it to not feel farmhouse, but rather like a European country home, which is very much what I'm trying to achieve. So I'm really happy with it. Is it perfect? No, but I also don't think you can tell. So I feel really good about how it turned out. It's a really nice wallpaper that has like some texture to it, which I like. It kind of has a little bit of like a canvasy feel to it. So I think it's gonna look so good with the decor that we're gonna put in here and just really round out the kitchen. Matt was saying that I should get some plugs for these holes. So I'm gonna go to the hardware store probably tomorrow and look for plugs to fill that I could paint to hopefully get rid of these holes and make it not very noticeable. So we are going to install our fluted glass doors. I did go around the doors with some clear caulk to just kind of hold everything in place really well because I do want it to be more semi-permanent. You obviously could remove the caulk and take the vinyl off if you wanted to very easily. Our like caulking that was in the door was also peeling, so it was kind of a necessary thing for me. So we'll go ahead and put those up. Okay, so here are our faux fluted glass doors. We did the vinyl peel and stick or the fluted glass look, which I think looks really, really good. I feel like you truly couldn't tell that this wasn't actually fluted glass. Every single time I've used this stuff, it has looked amazing. So I'm really happy with it. I also like that it kind of blocks out the stuff that's in there. Like you can see the silhouette of it, but you can't tell exactly what it is or how much stuff is in there because realistically, like there's a lot inside of this cabinet and I don't like having all of it on display because it's not that pretty to look at when there's that much stuff. So I think this gives a really nice effect. It really helps to kind of like elevate the look of the kitchen and give that vintage touch through this glass detail. But yeah, I think it looks really, really nice and I'm so excited to see it with hardware. I think it's going to look so good and just like really elegant and pretty. So far I'm super happy with how the kitchen is coming along. I have a lot of ideas still of things that I want to do in the space and plans to put those things into action. So there's definitely going to be more videos in our kitchen renovation series and we're going to just kind of chip away at it as we go so that the videos aren't crazy long and you're able to see everything and I can share this process with you, kind of see the journey to the final result. Wraps up this week's video. I hope that you enjoyed seeing the start of our kitchen renovation process. We got a lot done in this week's video. We did all of the painting of the cabinets, we have our DIY fluted glass, and we wallpapered all of the shelving. So I'm really happy with how this makeover is coming along so far. I think it already made a huge difference in our kitchen and just kind of like refreshing it and making it look more that vintage French country feel that I really like. Took away some of the more outdated elements in the kitchen, like the yellow wood and things like that. I also really feel like the color of these cabinets helped to update our countertops and make them look less blue and not age the kitchen quite as much. So I'm really happy with how that's turning out. We still have a lot to do in this kitchen makeover, so we're definitely going to have more videos, and it's going to be a bit of a mini series. So make sure to tune in every Sunday so you don't miss any of those and you can see the final result. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next Sunday.